Thank you.
Okay then, thank you. Thank you.
ಲೋಕಸಭಾ ಎಲೆಕ್ಷನ್ಗೆ ಇವತ್ತು ಮುಹೂರ್ತ ಫಿಕ್ಸ್ ಆಗಲಿದೆ. ಮೇ ಮತ್ತು ಏಪ್ರಿಲ್ ಮತ್ತು ಮೇನಲ್ಲಿ ಈ ಚುನಾವಣೆ ನಡೆಯುವಂತಹ ಸಾಧ್ಯತೆಗಳಿವೆ.
Dr. Seidi, ladies and gentlemen, I welcome you all for this press conference. We have great pleasure in announcing the commencement of the process for general elections to the 16th Lok Sabha, which is yet another milestone in the history of Indian democracy. As you all know, the term of the 15th Lok Sabha is due to end on 31st May 2014. The terms of 3 state assemblies, namely Andhra Pradesh, Odisha and Sikkim, also come to an end on 2nd June, 7th June and 21st May respectively. Under the Constitution and Representation of the People's Act, the Election Commission is mandated to complete the election process to constitute the 16th Lok Sabha before 31st May 2014, and similar action needs to be initiated for completing the elections for the 3 state assemblies before the respective dates of expiry. Credit? Yes? Mobile? No? No mobile? Yeah, okay. The credible elections conducted at regular prescribed intervals are the very soul and hallmark of any democratic system. As part of the consultative process preparatory to general elections 2014, the Commission has held series of preparatory meetings, starting with meeting with representatives of recognized national and state political parties on 4th February. During the meeting, while extending cooperation in conduct of free and fair polls, the parties raised and brought to our notice a wide range of issues relating to security, revising the ceiling of election expenditure by candidates, necessity to keep the various festivals and seasonal conditions in different parts of the country in view while arriving at the schedules. Quite a few participants were also highlighting the importance and need for holding elections in phased manner in certain critical states. This was followed up by meeting with Chief Secretaries, Directors General of Police, Home Secretaries, Chief Electoral Officers of all the states and Union Territories. We had further meetings with Home Secretary, Chairman of Railway Board, Secretary Telecommunication to seek their assistance and in tying up with regard to relevant areas of election management. Now, coming to the actual process of scheduling, you all know very well some of the major factors kept in view for scheduling. One, examination schedules, particularly for state boards and central board. You all know a very large majority of our polling stations are located in educational premises, and large part of polling staff are also drawn from that category. Weather plays a very important role. We are faced with the issue of early monsoon in certain parts of the country and late setting in of hot summer in certain parts of the country. We have to keep this also in view while deciding on entry date and exit date for the elections. Some of the states have, though the coming period is not exactly crop season for the entire country, but in certain parts of the country, harvesting is a major factor which has to be kept in view. Keeping all this in view, we have drawn up our schedule, which we will be sharing with you shortly. One of the prime requisites in preparation for general elections is availability of up-to-date electoral roll. Rolls have been revised with 1st January 2014 as qualifying date, and final rolls have been published in all the states. Total electorate as of now for general election 2014 is approximately 814 million, that is 81.4 crores, which is about 10 crores more than the last parliament election. You have to compare this with the electorate of 176 million for the first general election conducted for the country in 1952. As against that, the increase itself this time is 100 million over the last general election. However, there would always be complaints about certain people not finding their names in the electoral rolls. All kinds of complaints like we voted in all the previous elections, now our names are not in the roll, we have got EPIC but we are not allowed to vote, things like that. Keeping in view this kind of a predicament, we have decided to afford one more opportunity for enrollment. The Commission has directed that special camps shall be organized in all the polling stations in the country in over 9 lakh premises, where the booth level officer will be available with a copy of the electoral roll displayed on the notice board with requisite number of Form 6, that is the application form, etc., with the BLO. We would appeal through you to such of those who want to confirm the presence of their names in the electoral rolls to avail of this opportunity just before the general election, so that if any names are missing, if any people still want to get enrolled, they can file the application on that day, and we have given instructions to the election staff that all such applications shall be disposed of well in time to enable such voters to participate in the forthcoming general election. 9th March, Sunday, is the date which we have set apart. This is the day when in the entire country, in all the polling stations, booth level officers will be sitting along with the electoral roll and application forms for such people who seek enrollment at this stage. Photo electoral rolls and EPIC. These have become some of the special features of Indian elections which have helped streamline the identification process during the poll. The country had gone to polls with photo electoral rolls for the first time in 2009. At that time, the percentage of photos on the rolls was 82, while today it has reached 98.64%. So similarly, EPIC distribution, which was 82% last time, has already reached 96%. We hope it will also reach 98 to 99%, same as photo electoral rolls before the polls. Polling stations. As you know, our election poll is taken polling station wise. We have approximately 9,30,000 polling stations in the country, which is 12% more than number of polling stations in last election, that was 8.30 lakh polling stations. Over a period of time, Commission has been laying emphasis on provision of basic minimum facilities at polling stations. We have issued instructions to election staff and also followed it up in meetings with chief secretaries for equipping polling stations with basic necessary facilities like drinking water, shed, this is required because of hot summer season, toilets, and ramp for the physically challenged persons, and standard voting compartments in every polling station. As has been the case during 2004 and 2009, 2014 Lok Sabha polls also shall be held with electronic voting machines. You all know about the introduction of Nota facility in the voting machines. This was introduced during the last 5 state elections pursuant to the order of the Honorable Supreme Court. Nota facility shall be provided in general election 2014 also, and appropriate instructions will be issued. You also know the soul in election management of Election Commission of India is the observance and enforcement of Model Code of Conduct. With our announcement of the schedule today, Model Code of Conduct shall come into force with immediate effect. We have devoted considerable time on law and order and creating secure environments for the conduct of fair, free and peaceful polls. Among the various measures to ensure free and fair elections, we have taken particular care to ensure that people living in vulnerable locations, vulnerable sections of voters, they are enabled to be in continuous touch with election machinery so that adequate protection is given to them to ensure that they are enabled to vote free of obstruction, uninfluenced, unintimidated by anyone. We have asked the magistracy as well as the police machinery to maintain law and order and also to invoke the preventive provisions available in the law to ensure that all protection is given to the voters, particularly in vulnerable habitations. The Commission has been using the services of observers extensively to keep a close watch over ground situation and to take prompt remedial action when complaints are received from different parts of the country. Adequate number of observers in different categories like general observer, expenditure observer, police observer wherever needed, and awareness observers to promote voters' participation will be deployed during the forthcoming elections. One of the features of Indian elections is election is conducted with the use of officials, government officials. Therefore, there is very great emphasis laid on the neutrality of such officials who are charged with conduct of elections. The Commission expects all officials engaged in the conduct of elections to discharge their duties in an impartial manner without any fear or favor. They are deemed to be on deputation with Election Commission and shall be subject to its control, supervision and discipline. The conduct of government officials who have been entrusted with election-related responsibilities and duties would remain under constant scrutiny of the Commission, and strict action will be taken against those officials who are found wanting on any account. Photo voter slips. This is another feature which will be introduced in this general election, which was not there during the last parliament election, though we have been using it in the foregoing state assembly elections to facilitate voters to know where he is enrolled as a voter at a particular polling station, the location and address of the polling station, his serial number, etc. in the electoral roll. The Commission has directed that a photo copy of the electoral roll relating to that voter shall be distributed at his doorstep close to the date of the poll. Apart from its being a facilitation for the voter as well as for the polling staff to identify his place in the roll, etc., we expect this would also serve as a reminder and invitation for the voter to come and exercise his franchise on the date of the poll. Therefore, this will be got distributed very close to the date of the poll, like 3 days to 7 days before the date of the poll. Election Commission has also mounted a series of measures for expenditure monitoring. the use of money power is a matter of concern for Election Commission. Therefore, special emphasis is given to check the flow and use of money during election process. Besides deployment of expenditure observers, there will be sufficient number of flying squads, checkposts, video surveillance teams, media certification and monitoring committees. All these will be used to keep a close watch and check on the use of money power. About revision in ceiling of election expenses, details are known to you. This would also be made available in the booklet that will be made available at the end of the conference. Voter participation. Voter participation is one of the thrust areas for the Commission. Commission has held the view and been holding the view that a larger enhanced participation of voters will contribute to enlightened and vibrant democracy. Therefore, the sweep measures, the systematic voters' education and electoral participation measures which have been initiated and used in the foregoing state elections will be continued and further intensified in implementation. Coming to schedule, compared to the state elections which we were giving, in which we used to announce names of the states, date of date of notification, date of filing nomination, last date, etc. That, as you all agree, will not be feasible to do for 35 states and union territories in a conference like this. So, we have prepared a booklet in which all the information is available. This will be made available to you even before you leave the premises. In addition to that, we are also putting a copy of this on the website of the Election Commission, and those of you who have given your email ID, they will also be sent by mail. By the time you leave the premises, it would also be in your mail ID. However, some of the highlights of the schedule we would like to mention to you at this stage. The first date of poll shall be on 7th April 2014. This is held in 2 states, and number of parliamentary constituencies covered will be 6. The next date of poll is 9th April, which will cover 5 states and 7 parliamentary constituencies. The third date of poll, you should mark the difference from phase of the poll to date of the poll. We are using the expression days of the poll. This will be poll days. The third poll day will be on 10th April, which will cover 14 states and 92 parliamentary constituencies. The fourth poll day shall be on 12th April, covering 3 states and 5 parliamentary constituencies. The fifth poll day will be on 17th April, covering 13 states and union territories and 122 parliamentary constituencies. The next 6th poll day shall be on 24th April, covering 12 states and 117 parliamentary constituencies. 7th poll day shall be on 30th April, covering 9 states and 89 parliamentary constituencies. 8th poll day shall be on 7th May, covering 7 states and 64 parliamentary constituencies. The last one being 9th poll day shall be on 12th May, covering 3 states and 41 parliamentary constituencies. Therefore, in 9 poll days, we will be covering 543 parliamentary constituencies and respective assembly constituencies in those 3 states, as also we have a few by-elections to state assemblies in different states. All this will go to the polls on the same date as the parliamentary, the respective parliamentary constituency. Counting for all this shall take place on 16th May, Friday. It is expected counting will be over in a single day. To further quench your curiosity, we would like to mention state-wise on which days state polls will take place, though you will get all the details of schedule separately. Now, Andhra Pradesh will go to poll on 2 poll days, on 30th April and 7th May. Arunachal Pradesh will go to poll in 1 day, which will be on 9th April. Assam goes to poll on 3 poll days, 7th April, 12th April and 24th April. Bihar goes for 6 days poll on 6 poll days on 10th April, 17th April, 24th April, 30th April, 7th May and 12th May. And Chhattisgarh will have 3 poll days with 10th April, 17th April and 24th April. Goa will have 1 poll day on 17th April. Gujarat will have 1 poll day with 30th April. Haryana will have 1 poll day on 10th April. Himachal Pradesh will have 1 poll day on 7th May. Jammu and Kashmir will have 5 poll days on 10th April, 17th April, 24th April, 30th April and 7th May. Jharkhand will have 3 poll days on 10th April, 17th April and 24th April. Karnataka will have 1 poll day, 17th April. Kerala will have 1 poll day, 10th April. Madhya Pradesh will have 3 poll days, 10th April, 17th April and 24th April. Maharashtra will have 3 poll days, 10th April, 17th April, 24th April. Manipur will have 2 poll days, 9th April and 17th April. Meghalaya will have 1 poll day on 9th April. Mizoram 1 poll day, 9th April. Nagaland 1 poll day, 9th April. Odisha 2 poll days, 10th April and 17th April. Punjab 1 poll day, 30th April. Rajasthan 2 poll days, 17th April and 24th April. Sikkim one poll day, 12th April. Tamil Nadu, one poll day, 24th April. Tripura, 2 poll days, 7th April and 12th April. Uttar Pradesh, 6 poll days, 10th April, 17th April, 24th April, 30th April, 7th May and 12th May. Uttarakhand, 1 poll day, 7th May. West Bengal, 5 poll days, 17th April, 24th April, 30th April, 7th May and 12th May. Andaman Nicobar Islands, 1 poll day on 10th April. Chandigarh, 1 poll day, 10th April. Dadra Nagar Haveli, 1 poll day, 30th April. Daman and Diu, 1 poll day, 30th April. Lakshadweep, 1 poll day, 10th April. NCT of Delhi, 1 poll day, 10th April. Puducherry, 1 poll day, 24th April. I have already mentioned to you counting for all parliamentary constituencies, general election to state assemblies and by-elections to all the state assembly constituencies. All these will go along with respective parliamentary constituencies on the same day as per the same schedule. For all this, counting shall be had on 16th May. Now, by way of conclusion, on the occasion of the 16th Lok Sabha elections, the Commission reassures the nation of its solemn resolve and deep commitment to fulfill its constitutional mandate to conduct free, fair and credible elections. The Commission exhorts the 11 million plus election machinery to dedicate
ಚುನಾವಣಾ ಆಯೋಗದಿಂದ ಈಗಾಗಲೇ ಲೋಕಸಭಾ ವೇಳಾಪಟ್ಟಿ ಪ್ರಕಟವಾಗಿದೆ. ಪ್ರಮುಖವಾಗಿ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕದಲ್ಲಿ 17ನೇ ತಾರೀಕು ಏಪ್ರಿಲ್ ರಂದು ಮತದಾನ, ಒಂದೇ ಹಂತದ ಮತದಾನ ನಡೆಯುತ್ತೆ. ಒಟ್ಟು ಲೋಕಸಭಾ ಎಲೆಕ್ಷನ್ 9 ಹಂತದಲ್ಲಿ ಮತದಾನ ನಡೆಯುವಂತಹದ್ದು. ಇದರ ಕೌಂಟಿಂಗ್ 16ರ ಮೇ ಒಂದೇ ದಿನದಲ್ಲಿ ಇದರ ಕೌಂಟಿಂಗ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ನವದೆಹಲಿಯ ವಿಜ್ಞಾನ ಭವನದಲ್ಲಿ ಈ ಸುದ್ದಿಗೋಷ್ಠಿಯನ್ನ ಹಮ್ಮಿಕೊಳ್ಳಲಾಗಿತ್ತು. ಲೋಕಸಭಾ ಎಲೆಕ್ಷನ್ನ ಸಂಪೂರ್ಣ ಮಾಹಿತಿಯನ್ನ ಮುಖ್ಯ ಚುನಾವಣಾ ಆಯುಕ್ತ ವಿ.ಎಸ್. ಸಂಪತ್ ಅವರು ನೀಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಬಹಳ ಕುತೂಹಲ ಕೆಳಿಸಿರುವಂತಹ ಲೋಕಸಭಾ ಮಹಾಸಮರಕ್ಕೆ ಈಗಾಗಲೇ ಮುಹೂರ್ತ ಫಿಕ್ಸ್ ಆಗಿದೆ. 9 ಹಂತಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಈ ಒಂದು ಮತದಾನ ನಡೆಯುತ್ತೆ. ಮೊದಲ ಮತದಾನ ಆರಂಭವಾಗೋದು 7ನೇ ತಾರೀಕು ಏಪ್ರಿಲ್ನಂದು, ಅಂತ್ಯವಾಗೋದು 12ನೇ ತಾರೀಕು ಮೇ. 9 ಹಂತಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಈ ಮತದಾನ ನಡೆಯುತ್ತೆ. ಕರ್ನಾಟಕದಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದೇ ಹಂತದಲ್ಲಿ ಈ ಮತದಾನ ನಡೆಯುತ್ತೆ. ಕರ್ನಾಟಕದಲ್ಲಿ ಏಪ್ರಿಲ್ 17ರಂದು ಈ ಮತದಾನ ನಡೆಯುತ್ತೆ. ಇವತ್ತಿನಿಂದಲೇ ಚುನಾವಣಾ ನೀತಿ ಸಂಹಿತೆ ಜಾರಿಯಾಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ಈ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಮತ್ತಷ್ಟು ಮಾಹಿತಿಯನ್ನ ಪಡೆಯೋಣ ನಮ್ಮ ಪ್ರತಿನಿಧಿ ಈಶ್ವರ್ ಅವರಿಂದ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕದಲ್ಲಿ ಚುನಾವಣೆಯ ಕುರಿತು. ಈಶ್ವರ್, ಈಗಾಗಲೇ ಚುನಾವಣಾ ಅಧಿಕಾರಿಗಳು ಮಾಹಿತಿಯನ್ನ ನೀಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಸೊ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕದಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ ಎಲೆಕ್ಷನ್ ನಡೆಯುತ್ತೆ, ಯಾವೆಲ್ಲ ರೀತಿಯಾದಂತಹ ಮಾಹಿತಿಗಳು ಚುನಾವಣಾ ಇದರಿಂದ ಆಯುಕ್ತರಿಂದ ಲಭ್ಯ ಆಗಿದೆ?
ಭಾವನಾ, ಒಟ್ಟು 9 ಹಂತದ ಮತದಾನದಲ್ಲಿ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕದಲ್ಲೂ ಕೂಡ ಏಪ್ರಿಲ್ 17ನೇ ತಾರೀಕು ಒಂದೇ ಹಂತದ ಮತದಾನವನ್ನ ಈಗಾಗಲೇ ಚುನಾವಣಾ ಆಯುಕ್ತರು ಈಗಾಗಲೇ ಘೋಷಣೆ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಸೊ ಈ ಸಂದರ್ಭದಲ್ಲಿ ಖಂಡಿತವಾಗ್ಲೂ 17 ದಿನ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕದಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದೇ ಹಂತದ ಒಂದು ಚುನಾವಣೆ ಏನ್ ಲೋಕಸಭಾ ಚುನಾವಣೆ ನಡೀತದೆ, ಇದು ಕೇವಲ ಇನ್ನ 42 ದಿನ ಮಾತ್ರ ಉಳ್ಕೊಂಡಿದೆ ಚುನಾವಣೆಗೆ. ನಿಜಕ್ಕೂ ಕೂಡ ಒಂದೇ ಹಂತದ ಚುನಾವಣೆ ಆಗಿರೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಇಡೀ 28 ಕ್ಷೇತ್ರಗಳಲ್ಲೂ ಕೂಡ ಈಗಾಗಲೇ ಒಂದು ರೀತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಏಕಕಾಲಕ್ಕೆ ಒಂದು ಚುನಾವಣೆ ನಡೆಯೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಇಡೀ ರಾಜ್ಯದಲ್ಲಿ ನಾಯಕರು ಕೂಡ ಒಂದು ರೀತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಕಾಲಿಗೆ ಚಕ್ರ ಕಟ್ಕೊಂಡು ಓಡಾಡಬೇಕಾಗಂತ ಒಂದು ಸ್ಥಿತಿ ನಿರ್ಮಾಣವಾಗಿದೆ. ಒಂದು ರೀತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ರೆಡ್ ಅಲರ್ಟ್ ಘೋಷಣೆ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾಗಿದೆ. ಜೊತೆಗೆ ಒಂದು ರೀತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಸಂಚಲನವೂ ಕೂಡ ರಾಜ್ಯದಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ರೀತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಉಂಟಾಗ್ತದೆ. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಇವತ್ತು ಚುನಾವಣಾ ನೀತಿ ಸಂಹಿತೆ ಘೋಷಣೆ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ನೆನ್ನೆನೆ ಅರ್ಕೊಂಡಂತ ಸಿದ್ದರಾಮಯ್ಯನವರು ಇಡೀ ಬೆಂಗಳೂರಿನ ಯಾವುದೇ ಮೂಲೆ ಹೋದ್ರೂ ಕೂಡ ಸಿದ್ದರಾಮಯ್ಯನವರ ಕಟ್ಔಟ್ಸ್ ಆಗ್ಲಿ ಅಥವಾ ಯೋಜನೆಗಳ ಅನುಷ್ಠಾನದ ಜಾರಿ ಆಗ್ಲಿ ಯಾವೊಂದು ಜಾಹೀರಾತುಗಳು ಕೂಡ ಇವತ್ತು ಎಲ್ಲೂ ಕೂಡ ಹೋರ್ಡಿಂಗ್ಸ್ ಮತ್ತೆ ಎಲ್ಲವನ್ನು ಕೂಡ ತೆಗೆದಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನೀತಿ ಸಂಹಿತೆ ಜಾರಿ ಇಂದಿನಿಂದನೇ ಇವತ್ತು 10 ಏನೀಗ ಅನೌನ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಇವತ್ತಿನಿಂದ ಬಹುತೇಕವಾಗಿ ಚುನಾವಣೆಯ 42 ದಿನಗಳ ಕಾಲ ಒಂದು ಕಂಟಿನ್ಯೂ ಆಗ್ತದೆ. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಈಗಾಗಲೇ ಎಲ್ಲ ಸಿದ್ಧತೆಗಳನ್ನು ಕೂಡ ರಾಜ್ಯದಲ್ಲೂ ಕೂಡ ಈಗಾಗಲೇ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ತಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಈಗ ಬಹುತೇಕವಾಗಿ ಟಿಕೆಟ್ ಅನ್ನ ಅಭ್ಯರ್ಥಿಗಳ ಘೋಷಣೆ ಇನ್ನೂ ಕೂಡ ಯಾವುದೇ ಪಕ್ಷಗಳು ಕೂಡ ಅಧಿಕೃತವಾಗಿ ಘೋಷಣೆಯನ್ನ ಮಾಡಿಲ್ಲ. ಅದಕ್ಕಾಗಿ ಇವತ್ತು ಬಿಜೆಪಿಯಿಂದ ಒಂದು ರೀತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಹೈಕಮಾಂಡ್ ನಾಯಕರಾದಂತಹ ಅರುಣ್ ಜೇಟ್ಲಿ ಅವರು ದೆಹಲಿ ಬೆಂಗಳೂರಿಗೆ ಬರ್ತಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಇವತ್ತೇ ಸಂಜೆ ಕಾಂಗ್ರೆಸ್ನವರು ಕೂಡ 14ರಿಂದ 15 ಜನರ ಮೊದಲ ಅಭ್ಯರ್ಥಿಗಳ ಪಟ್ಟಿಯನ್ನು ಕೂಡ ಇವತ್ತೇ ಘೋಷಣೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಸಂಜೆ. ಸೊ ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಜೆಡಿಎಸ್ ಕೂಡ ಇವತ್ತಾಗ್ಲೇ ಬಹುತೇಕವಾಗಿ ತನ್ನ ಅಭ್ಯರ್ಥಿಗಳನ್ನ ಇವತ್ತೇ ಪ್ರಕಟ ಮಾಡುವ ಸಾಧ್ಯತೆಗಳು ಕೂಡ ಇದೆ. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಈಗ ಖಂಡಿತವಾಗ್ಲೂ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕದ ಯಾವ ಪಕ್ಷಗಳಿಗೆ ಎಲ್ಲಾ ಪಕ್ಷಗಳಲ್ಲೂ ಕೂಡ ಬಹುತೇಕವಾಗಿ ದಿನಗಳ ಎಣಿಕೆ ಏನಿದೆ ಅದು ತುಂಬಾ ಅಂತರ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಇದೆ. ಬಹುತೇಕವಾಗಿ ಈಗ ಯುದ್ಧೋಪಾದಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ರೀತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಸಂಚಲನವನ್ನ ಇವಾಗ ಅವರು ಮೂಡಿಸಲೇಬೇಕಾಗಿದೆ. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಒಂದು ರೀತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ರಣೋತ್ಸಾಹದಲ್ಲಿ ಯುದ್ಧ ತಯಾರಿಯನ್ನ ತಂತ್ರಗಾರಿಕೆಯನ್ನ ಇವತ್ತಿನಿಂದನೇ ಒಂದು ರೀತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ 3 ಪಕ್ಷಗಳು ಸೇರಿದಂತೆ ಬಹುತೇಕ ಇನ್ನ ಸಣ್ಣ ಪುಟ್ಟ ಪಕ್ಷಗಳು ಕೂಡ ಇವತ್ತಿನಿಂದನೇ ಸಂಚಲನದ ರೀತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಯುದ್ಧದ ಮಾದರಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ರೀತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಏಪ್ರಿಲ್ 17ನೇ ತಾರೀಕಿನ ಚುನಾವಣೆಗೆ ಸಿದ್ಧತೆ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಬೇಕಾಗಿದೆ. ಭಾವನಾ,
ಸೊ ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ ಒಂದು ಸಂಚಲನ ಸೃಷ್ಟಿಯಾಗಿದೆ? ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ಇವತ್ತಿನಿಂದಲೇ ನೀತಿ ಸಂಹಿತೆ ಜಾರಿಯಾಗಿದೆ. ಇನ್ನು ಕೇವಲ 40 ದಿನಗಳಿವೆ ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ ಲೋಕಸಭಾ ಎಲೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಅನ್ನ ಎದುರಿಸೋದಕ್ಕೆ. ಸೊ ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ ಸಿದ್ಧತೆಗಳು ಪಕ್ಷಗಳಿಂದ ವ್ಯಕ್ತ ಆಗ್ತಿವೆ?
ಒಂದು ರೀತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಭಾವನಾ, ಇವತ್ತು ಈಗಾಗಲೇ ಬಹುತೇಕವಾಗಿ ಪಕ್ಷಗಳ ಅಭ್ಯರ್ಥಿಗಳ ಆಯ್ಕೆ ಬಗ್ಗೆಯೇ 3 ಪಕ್ಷಗಳಲ್ಲೂ ಕೂಡ ಗೊಂದಲವಿದೆ. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಜೊತೆಗೆ ಉಳಿದಂತ ಒಂದು ರೀತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಬಿಎಸ್ಪಿ ಕೂಡ ಈಗಾಗಲೇ 20 ಕ್ಷೇತ್ರಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಅಭ್ಯರ್ಥಿಗಳನ್ನ ಹಾಕ್ತೀವಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದೆ. ಅದ್ರ ಜೊತೆಗೆ ಆಮ್ ಆದ್ಮಿ ಕೂಡ 12 ಕ್ಷೇತ್ರಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ರೀತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಅಭ್ಯರ್ಥಿಗಳನ್ನ ಹಾಕ್ತೀವಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದೆ. ಒಟ್ಟಾರೆ ಒಂದು ರೀತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಬಿಜೆಪಿ, ಕಾಂಗ್ರೆಸ್ ಮತ್ತು ಜೆಡಿಎಸ್ 3 ಪ್ರಮುಖ ಪಕ್ಷಗಳು ಈಗಾಗಲೇ ತಮ್ಮ ಅಭ್ಯರ್ಥಿಗಳ ಆಯ್ಕೆಯ ಕಸರತ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಇನ್ನೂ ಕೂಡ ಮುಂದುವರೆಸಿದವೆ. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಈಗೇನು ದಿನಾಂಕ ನಿಗದಿಯಾಗಿದೆ, ಕೇವಲ 40 ದಿನ ಮಾತ್ರ ಚುನಾವಣೆಗೆ ಬಾಕಿ ಇರೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಅವರು ಬಹುತೇಕವಾಗಿ ಇವತ್ತು ಮತ್ತೆ ನಾಳೆ ಒಳಗೆ ಎಲ್ಲಾ ಅಭ್ಯರ್ಥಿಗಳ ಒಂದು ಪಟ್ಟಿಯನ್ನ ಫೈನಲ್ ಮಾಡುವ ಸಾಧ್ಯತೆಗಳು ಕೂಡ ಈಗ ಕಂಡು ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಒಂದು ರೀತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಬಹುತೇಕ ಒಂದು ರೀತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಗೊಂದಲವಿದೆ. ಜೆಡಿಎಸ್ಗೆ ಬಂದ್ರು ಕೂಡ ಅಲ್ಲೊಂದು ರೀತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಗೊಂದಲವಿದೆ. ಬಿಜೆಪಿಗೆ ಬಂದ್ರು ಕೂಡ ಒಂದು 7-8 ಕ್ಷೇತ್ರಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಅಭ್ಯರ್ಥಿಗಳು ಯಾವ ರೀತಿಯಾದ ತುಂಬಾ ಒಂದು ಕ್ಲಿಷ್ಟಕರವಾದ ಪರಿಸ್ಥಿತಿ ಇದೆ. ಅದು ತುಮಕೂರು ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು, ಮೈಸೂರು ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು, ಚಿಕ್ಕಮಗಳೂರು, ಉಡುಪಿ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು, ಬೀದರ್, ಕೊಪ್ಪಳ, ಹೀಗೆ ಒಂದು 7-8 ಕ್ಷೇತ್ರಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಅಭ್ಯರ್ಥಿಗಳ ಆಯ್ಕೆ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಪ್ರಬಲವಾದ ಪೈಪೋಟಿ ಇದೆ. ಬಿಎಸ್ವೈ, ಅನಂತ್ ಬಣ, RSS, ಹೀಗೆ ಬಿಜೆಪಿಯ ಬಣ, ಒಂದು ರೀತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ವಲಸೆ ಬಂದವರು, ಈಗ ಕೆಜೆಪಿಯಿಂದ ವಾಪಸ್ ಬಂದಂತವರು, ಹೀಗೆ ಬಹುತೇಕ ಒಂದು ಭಿನ್ನಾಭಿಪ್ರಾಯವಿದೆ. ಅದರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಇವತ್ತು 3 ಗಂಟೆಗೆ ಅರುಣ್ ಜೇಟ್ಲಿ ಅವರು ಒಂದು ಅಂತಿಮವಾದ ಒಂದು ನಿರ್ಧಾರಕ್ಕೆ ಬರ್ತಾರೆ. ಯಾವ ಕ್ಷೇತ್ರಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾರಿಗೆ ಟಿಕೆಟ್ ಫೈನಲ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತೇಳಿ ಸಂಧಾನಗಳು ಕೂಡ ನಡೀತದೆ. ಇವತ್ತೇ ಬಹುತೇಕ ಬಿಜೆಪಿಯಿಂದನೂ ಕೂಡ ಅಭ್ಯರ್ಥಿಗಳ ಆಯ್ಕೆಯೇ ಪ್ರಮುಖವಾದ ಮೊದಲ ಘಟ್ಟ. ಅದು ಅರುಣ್ ಜೇಟ್ಲಿ ಅವರು ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಹಾಗೆ ಕಾಂಗ್ರೆಸ್ನಲ್ಲೂ ಕೂಡ ಈಗಾಗಲೇ ಅಂತಿಮವಾದ ಪಟ್ಟಿಯನ್ನ ಹೈಕಮಾಂಡ್ ವರೆಗೂ ಕೂಡ ಕಳಿಸಾಗಿದೆ. ಹೈಕಮಾಂಡ್ ಕೂಡ ಇಂದು ಸಂಜೆ 14ರಿಂದ 15 ಜನ 9 ಜನ ಹಾಲಿ ಸಂಸದರು ಸೇರಿಸಿ ಬಹುತೇಕವಾಗಿ ಬಳ್ಳಾರಿ, ಬೆಂಗಳೂರು ದಕ್ಷಿಣ, ಹೀಗೆ ಮೈಸೂರು, ಈಗಾಗಲೇ ಇಂಥ ಬಹುತೇಕ ಕ್ಷೇತ್ರಗಳಲ್ಲಿ 14ರಿಂದ 15 ಕ್ಷೇತ್ರಗಳ ಪಟ್ಟಿಯನ್ನು ಕೂಡ ಇವತ್ತು ಬಿಡುಗಡೆ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಎಲ್ಲ ಪಕ್ಷಗಳು ಕೂಡ ತಮ್ಮ ಅಭ್ಯರ್ಥಿಗಳನ್ನ ಫೈನಲೈಸ್ ಮಾಡಿ ನಂತರದಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವ ರೀತಿಯಾದ ಸ್ಟ್ರಾಟಜಿ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಎಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲಿ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮಗಳನ್ನು ಹಮ್ಮಿಕೊಳ್ಳಬೇಕು, ಸಮಾವೇಶಗಳನ್ನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅನ್ನುವ ರೀತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಮುಂದಿನ ಕಾರ್ಯತಂತ್ರಕ್ಕೆ ಒಂದು ರೀತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ರೂಪುರೇಷೆಯನ್ನು ಸಿದ್ಧಪಡಿಸಿಕೊಳ್ತೇವೆ. ಭಾವನಾ,
ಓಕೆ, ಧನ್ಯವಾದ ಈಶ್ವರ್ ನಿಮ್ಮೆಲ್ಲ ಮಾಹಿತಿಗೆ.